Welcome to the NDE World Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical, and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome to the NDE World Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis. And in the studio with me today, I have the lovely, one and only Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Miss Daphne Lynn.
Hello, Ashton Lewis. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you. Thank you for asking. And just enjoying this beautiful weather, as every day is beautiful. That's my saying. You know, it's
every day is beautiful, regardless of the weather.
There you go. Thank you. Every day is beautiful, regardless of the weather.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
Doing wonderful, yeah, and enjoying the weekend off. Ooh, I love it.
That's nice.
Love our weekends.
That always helps. It really does. Well, for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome to the NDE World Podcast. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. We love you all so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for returning. And don't forget to go to the website. That's NDE.world for more information on who we are, what we do, and podcasts and episodes and things like that. If you got a story you want to share, just anything, just go to the website.
Smash that contact and share your story button.
Yeah, that's it. NDE.world. Don't forget, it is
NDE.world.
Very good. Now, we are picking up with a continuation of a previous episode on the actual life review.
Yes, this has been very interesting. I love going over the life review stories.
Yeah, yes. And so for those of you who don't know what a life review is, we have plenty of episodes on it, but, you know, I'm sure...
Exactly what it states, life review.
It's life review, yeah. So it's what we call heaven and hell and karma and... reaping what you sow and cause and effect and judgment.
Everything all rolled
up in one. You know, and you'll understand more why we say that, you know, as we go along. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the actual today's program. Now, what we're doing, like I said, is a continuation, and we do different types of approaches to our shows. But this particular episode, we're just sharing different life review insights from people who has had near-death experiences. And who had, experienced their life review. And they're just kind of sharing what their experience was. So, maybe we can gain some things from these experiences. And that's why we like to share it with you guys.
Yes. And, and I learned something from every account story that I hear and that I read. There's something to be gained knowledge-wise from all these stories. There's lessons to be learned in all of these accounts.
Yeah, we call them spiritual nuggets.
Yeah, nug hunting.
Yeah, we're going nugging.
Yeah.
Gone nugging. Well, let's go ahead and just pick up with the first comment. I'll go ahead and jump into this real quick, and and then we'll just go ahead and see what we can get out of this. How many spiritual nugs we can find? How's that sound?
Sounds wonderful.
Awesome. First comment says, I saw 4 translucent screens appear and form a kind of a gigantic box around me. It was through this method that I was shown my life review. Or rather, I should say my lives in review. Interesting. Without ever having to turn my head, I saw my past, my present, my future, and there was even a screen that displayed a tremendous amount of scientific data, numbers, and universal codes. I saw the beginning of my known existence as a soul and saw that I had existed spiritually long before this incarnation, where I am now, a male human known as, and this guy gives his name. In heaven, I undeniably saw that I had lived an innumerable amount of lives. Yet, what I saw went way beyond our comprehension of what we think reincarnation is. So, I am not exactly speaking of being born again and again on this planet alone. I saw that it is a big universe out there, and God has it all organized perfectly. Each of us is sent where we can obtain the best growth according to our divine purpose.
Wow. Okay, so...
Lots of nuggets. Miss Daphne, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. of course, we see that the life review is presented in different forms to each individual. This person's was a 4 translucent screens that appeared and displayed his many lives in review and in past, present, and future forms, as well as scientific data, numbers, and universal codes. I like that he didn't have to turn his head to see any of this information. So that is that 360 that we've heard so much about. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Now, I like the part here where it says, I saw the beginning of my known existence as a soul.
Yes.
And saw that I had existed spiritually long before this incarnation. Think about that, guys.
That's
all of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your soul is what we call God. It's part of God, what we call source, that life, that energy, that's God is all. How can God not be all? You know, and who are we to say that God is not anything when God is everything?
Exactly.
You see, so
yeah.
Just, it depends on your level of vibration and your level of understanding and comprehension. So that's what I like, that you really think about it, that you have been here since the beginning of time in different incarnations.
Right, and the guy even brought out an innumerable amount of lives, and to think that, we're not just speaking, he's not just speaking of being born again and again on this planet alone.
Yeah.
That there's a vast universe out there, and we get to choose where we go in that universe.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of it has to do with your
so
vibrations
that is,
too, right?
Wow, yes.
Yeah. And like it says here, he saw that it is a big universe out there and that God has it all organized perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And even, sometimes entertaining the concept of multiverse, that's
right.
Another topic for a different discussion.
Right. I like this too, that he said that we go where we can obtain the best soul growth according to our divine purpose.
I love that part.
Yes.
I really did. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that we have to become awakened to and accept. I mean, the concept of being divine, when I first heard it, being a God, I gasped at the thought of it, but now it just totally resonates. Yes, and now that divine purpose that we all have and are a part of.
Yeah. The self only wants what the self wants, and the self is only going to see what the self sees.
Mm-hmm.
You have to break away from the self, what we call ego, that self that has broken away from the one, and you have to get back to being one. Once you understand that there is only one, and you are that one, a part of it, a spark of it, an individualization of it, however you want to, it doesn't matter how you look at it, but you have to understand you cannot be separated from source. You can't. You are source experiencing life here in all the many forms, you know, but that's on a level of when you get to a certain level of vibration, what we call spiritual maturity or understanding, then everything resonates. A lot of this did resonate with me years ago.
Oh, I know.
I was fixed in certain belief systems.
I thought all this was demonic years ago. I'm like, why would you want to do any of that? I mean, but now, it's just that the knowledge that we have today, the wisdom is always changing. Your knowledge is always growing.
Right.
If you're the type of person that likes to learn and grow, some people are happy right where they're at and don't want to do any more reading or trying to gain more knowledge. Yeah,
and I love the fact, regardless of what your belief is, regardless of what religion you're part of, I love you all, and I love the fact that you are tuned into your spiritual side, that you are seeking your spiritual. So my hat's off, 2 thumbs up. I'd put up more if I had more, but to anybody,
I'll put my 2 up with you.
Anybody from Christianity to Buddhism, to Shintoism, or absolutely
any
Muslim,
religion
Islamic,
you can think of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the disclaimer, if what you believe in does not separate you from the oneness that you are, okay, as long as that belief system or that religion does not separate you from the illusion that you are separate from everyone else and from the divine. Mm-hmm. Okay. And also, as long as that so-called religion teaches you to be the highest good, and you put that into practice to be the best person that you can be, and you take the teachings of whatever master, because every religion has its master, okay?
Yes.
Whatever your master taught you, you take that, you apply that to your life, and you walk the walk of the master. That's why the masters were here, okay?
They set the examples.
To set the examples. So if you're walking the walk, you're living the example, you're putting out love, you're not harming another, you're not, I don't know what kind of word you want to call it, but however you want to say it, you're being abusive to other people's wills when you become really dogmatic about
it's this
things.
way or no way.
It's this way or no way, or I have the truth, you're going to burn.
Yeah,
That's
with
separation. That's not oneness. That doesn't unite.
Right, exactly. And all the masters taught unity and being of one mind. So when we separate ourselves and we believe that this group is not going to make it because they're not part or believe the way we believe, think about this. Then that annihilates the whole human race, because everyone's religion is the right one, and no one else is going to make it because they're not in that religion.
Yeah.
That's why
Good
we
thought.
need to do away with religion, because it eliminates the humankind because of the radicalness of it.
Well, to go with that thought, Daphne, and you give me your opinion on it or your thoughts, depending on your level of maturity, you will understand whether you're at ground level, spoon-fed baby believer in your spirituality, just starting to, you have some kind of awakening, you're starting to,
We
learn
all
your
got to
spiritual
start
self.
somewhere.
Or if you're a master, mystic that's been doing this stuff for 80 years, there is only one religion, and that is what we call love.
Love, yes.
Love
yes.
is the only true religion. And I don't like the word religion, to be honest with you, because
No, I
that's
don't
really
either
not
anymore.
the word to use. But guys, love. What do you think, Daphne?
I totally agree with it. Totally agree. We have to get away from the division, the he and she versus them, and this group against that group. We have
Cops
to,
and robbers.
right? We have to unite and live in love. That's when our world is going to change.
Yep.
When we live in that love and get rid of the quote unquote religious dogmas and indoctrinations that separate mankind.
Right, because that feeds the self, and the self is not of the divine. The self is broken off. Your self should be in harmony with the divine, but your self has pretty much built its own identity. And unfortunately, that identity has been built on your parents' input, your society's input, the media's input, your school's input, your church's input, any kind of input that you've been since you've been learning and inputting data since day one.
Right.
Is what has created you who you think you are.
Right. That's why you have to reflect, go within, and strip away all those belief systems and go back to source.
Exactly.
And recreate who you are.
Absolutely. And the means to do that directly, and that all the greats teach this from, any of them really, is the importance of meditation. A lot of them call it prayer. But the importance of meditation and really just taking that time, if you can, get out in nature, but get where you can, get somewhere in your own closet. The Bible references go inside, your own closet. It doesn't mean a literal closet, okay? You are the temple, okay? Your body is the temple, should I say, but you dwell inside your temple, right? The body is the temple. So the point is, when you start to what we call meditate or prayer, you have to clear your mind, all right? Get somewhere where you can get somewhere quiet. If it's out in nature or whatever, you got to get somewhere where you can clear your mind. If you're doing just, different types of contemplation meditation or regular meditation or whatever meditation you're going to do, it's going to take you a while, when you're sitting with your thoughts, you just
To
have
clear
to
the
sit
monkey
there,
mind.
clear that monkey mind. Let them thoughts just go. Let them go. Let them go. That's that ego.
Yeah.
That's the mind. It's, what about this? What about that? Okay, what about this? What that? You're going to have to sit with it for about 15, 20, 30 minutes. Depends on your level of
Where you're at, how long it takes you to get there.
Yeah.
I've noticed with my meditations, it's not taking as long for my mind chatter to die down.
Because you've probably been doing it for a while. That's the key.
Right.
Yeah, so the more you do it, you can do it quicker. And once you get to a point of really getting good at it, you can just instantly go into that state of, meditation.
Right.
But during that meditation, once the monkey mind calms, once that you get back to where you are and you can actually focus,
Oh,
then you can
yeah.
start looking within and start asking questions, to yourself of the spiritual nature. You're going to go inside, and that's where all the secrets are. The
Right.
secrets aren't out there. It's not through a person. It's not through a church. It's not through a religion. It's not through any belief system, any of it. The key is within. All the teachers taught the
The
secret
kingdom is within.
is within.
Yeah.
And that's what they meant. You are within.
Yeah,
your temple.
exactly. Yes.
So, anyway.
Very well said.
So let's go ahead and move on along.
Sure.
And would you like to take the next one?
Most definitely. Okay, it says a giant screen appeared next to us. It was so gigantic that I could naturally compare it to the large screens that used to be in the old drive-in theaters from the 40s through the early 70s. On this screen, in random order, different scenes of incidents that had happened in my life while here on earth were being played out. Jesus would select one scene and it would expand to the point that it encompassed almost the whole screen. I could still see other scenes being played in the background on the edges of the main scene we were reviewing. The scene we were reviewing was a most accurate depiction of an incident that I was involved in at a point in my life, and he questioned me as to why I did the things that I had done.
Oh, okay. So this person here, we see a lot of, the thing that sticks out of my mind is the actual way they experience their life review. Sometimes we get the screens, the 360 screens, the visions, the hologram or the holographic type. I've heard it written on rocks before. I've heard it presented in all kind of different ways.
I remember one, and I thought it was beautiful because I love nature and I love being out in nature. But this person's life review, they had walked up onto a mountain and was looking out over a beautiful lake, and reflecting on that lake was this person's whole life in scenes.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's just there's so many ways the life review can be shown to you.
Experienced.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the first things I noticed, that theirs was on these, it says what they can compare it to, when we all know, remember the big old giant drive-in
Yes, I've been there, yeah.
movie theater screens back in the day. So they said it was like a really, really large, that it was that big,
Right.
So what did you notice?
Wow. And it's just, now this person's was in random order, but sometimes you hear that they review their life from birth, that first breath, all the way straight through sequential of their life to their accident or their NDE. So it's just, this one was in random order. And the life reviews are never quite the same for each person.
Yeah. I like how
It's
you
what
said
works
that.
with that person's mind and personality.
Right, and that's the beauty of it.
Yes.
Because everybody is an individual expression of God.
Yes.
That's why you have to express yourself and let God express itself through you. Mm-hmm. We're all individuals, but we're all one. That's the dichotomy. Right. I love this one here. Jesus, this person he was able to have an experience with that. And so we do see that a lot. A lot of people see this, like what they would call Jesus, or usually maybe a golden light, or maybe a certain, thing like that. A lot of people do see that, a character a whole lot, Some see Krishna.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Some see, Buddha. Some people. It just depends on the person. They do see different of those. What we would call the masters or the spiritual. The spiritual leaders. So I thought that was cool that this particular one had that experience where Jesus was there, and was going through the different scenes with them. So that would be that person's experience of their, Jesus would be God appearing in that person's experience, that they would understand, that source of divinity, where it's coming from. Jesus would be that representation of that. And that's how that works within that system, if that makes any sense.
Right, yeah. And I love the fact that this person brought out that, when Jesus selected a certain scene in his life, and that it was depicted accurately, and he was questioned why he did the things that he had done, not being judged, or any condemnation of that. He just made him reflect on why he done things a certain way.
Yeah. Okay. So how would this time with, I'm guessing, his life review? So in his life review, the screens, I'm guessing the things would come up on these giant screens. And his spirit guide, or one he had experience with, which we hear, you hear so many of them that, different entities. Sometimes it's Jesus there with them,
Right.
helping them to review it. Sometimes it's God itself.
Sometimes it's light beings, ancestors.
light beings.
There's many different forms.
Creatures
like we
I've
talk
never even heard of, people's described,
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's what this person is saying. So in this particular case, Jesus was with him in his life review.
Yep.
And that's how it was. Okay.
And and that's the beauty in it. It's not
Beautiful.
like religions teach. It is this way, and it's the only way. It's many, many ways that your life can be presented to you.
Mm-hmm. That's
You know,
wisdom when
it
you
can't be
understand that.
dogmatic about this is the set way, because there is no set way.
No, there's no such thing.
There is no set way. Which reminds me, and I would like to bring this out if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
There is a quote from the Conversations of God book that just blew me away when I read it. And it ties in with what we were just talking about Jesus, about Buddha. I mean, the different masters that have appeared in different ways that we view that divinity, that higher source.
Yeah.
And it's a bit winded, so bear with me. But I am the still small voice within you which knows which way to turn, which path to take, which answer to give, which action to implement, which word to say, which reality to create if you truly seek communion and unity with me. Just listen to me. Get close to me. Get close to me. Do what you can. Do what you have to. Do what it takes. Say a rosary. Kiss a stone. Bow to the east. Chant a chant. Swing a pendulum. Test a muscle. Or write a book. Do what it takes. Each of you has your own construction. Each of you has and understood me and created me in your own way. To some of you, I am a man. To some of you, I am a woman. To some, I am both. To some, I am neither. To some of you, I am pure energy. To some, the ultimate feeling which you call love. And some of you have no idea what I am. You simply know that I am. And so it is. I am. I am the wind which rustles your hair. I am the sun which warms your body. I am the rain which dances around your face. I am the smell of flowers in the air. I am the flowers which send their fragrance upward. I am the air which carries the fragrance. I am the beginning of your first thought. I am the end of your last. I am the idea which sparked your most brilliant moment. I am the glory of its fulfillment. I am the feeling which fueled the most loving thing you ever did. I am the part of you which yearns for that feeling again and again. Whatever works for you, whatever makes it happen, whatever ritual, ceremony, demonstration, meditation, thought, song, word, or action it takes for you to reconnect, do this in remembrance of me. When I read that, my spirit just yearned, and I was like, and it turned. I was like, this resonates. This is truth, and that's the unity. That's the oneness.
It resonates. It resonates as that, like you said, that oneness.
So we're all right.
Also from a loving perspective, also from a free will perspective. I mean, there's nothing dogmatic about that. There's nothing, forceful or dictative about that. It's all pure love.
Right.
Yeah, I get
And
it.
we're all right. In our concept of what we see as that divine, we are all right.
Everybody is right, correct.
Yes.
And to go with that, I remember I was reading in a book here recently, and it's something on the lines of that. You've got to understand that source is, you can't comprehend it. It's bigger than what you can comprehend.
Right.
And it can be approached through any way it needs to be. It can be anything it needs to be. There is not just one way.
Correct.
Do you understand how that limits everything and how that controls people's minds? You're not free if you believe there's only one way. I used to believe that, but I don't believe that anymore, because that's not what the masters taught. That's
Right.
not what these people taught. That's stuff that has been tampered with.
You exchanged your truth at the moment for a higher truth later.
That's right.
Think about that.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, and there's beauty in that. You're not stuck in one place and become stagnant.
Yep. Exactly. And they're relevant truths. Religion ties in with relevant truth. All religions are relevant truth. It is personalized to that individual.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolute truth is something every one of us as human beings are a part of, whether you like it or not.
Right.
Yeah. We are all nature. We are, what is nature?
You walk
God.
outside and look at the world around you, the nature of everything. Yeah, that is an absolute truth.
Yeah, yeah,
That is unchanging.
yeah. And part of the absolute truths really is how you look at, so like the universe itself. There are universal laws. These are the laws of the universe that you cannot break. That's a
And you
subject
can't
for a different
change.
episode. You can't.
That doesn't change. That's the
That
beauty
is
in it.
true. That is absolute. You cannot change that. So, but religion, yeah, you can change that, and your truth today will change tomorrow. For some people, some may take next week, some next year, some 10 years, some never. But
Right.
your today's truth is not, not absolute. Just keep that in mind. What you believe today, even what you believe today, you may not have even believed that, say, last week or a month ago or 2 years back or whatever. Question that. Does the belief system that you believe now, is it 1,000% in harmony with the belief system that you had when you was, years ago, when you started having belief system? If it is, then, you're very strong in your faith and what you've got going on, so if not, then who are you to challenge someone else's belief that, on what they believe?
Yeah, don't be pointing the finger that somebody else's belief system is wrong.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
They're wrong in their thinking.
Yeah.
No, that's
Everybody
not-
has their own belief, which is
Right.
that is their truth.
Right. And that's the beauty in it. That's the beauty in what I had read is it's unified. It's all one.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Moving right on along. This next one says that I had thoughts of my life and my failures and shame. I was told it was all unimportant. I was not going to be condemned. I was to live bravely knowing that God was taking care of me always, and I was shown events in my life where He saved me and protected me. I was shown how I worry and that it's all for nothing. I can't change and don't need to change anything in my life. Nice.
Wow. Yeah, very nice, very nice. You hear this a lot, when people are going through their life review, they hear or see their accomplishments or their failures, their shames, and each are told that, it's not really important, and, or the one before them is indifferent to that. In this one, they said it was just important. It was not anything to be condemned of.
I think that's the beauty of it, with all of it. How many of these near-death experiences out of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands has one come back and said, you were condemned for what you've done? No, every single one of them comes back and says, no, that's not important. You're not going to be condemned for what you've done. Well, this totally destroys the foundation of so many religious structures out there, which are all man-made, concepts anyway.
Right, yeah. I like this part in it as well, where it says that that this person was shown events in their life where God had saved and protected that person.
Yeah.
And we have to realize that we are protected here in this realm.
There is angelic intervention.
Yes, there is.
Whether you believe it or not, there is.
Yeah, we're not alone here like we think we are. And there's many of us seeing evidence of other life forms out there, from UFO to paranormal things going on in that we're catching on video, we realize we are not alone here. So we have to understand that we are protected in this, because not all beings out there are benevolent. Some are malevolent. So we're being protected from that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, good thought. Also, like this person brings out here that, they were shown that how they worry too much, and that really your worrying about things in life is really for nothing. And that's maybe a good tip for all of us. Don't spend all your time worrying about stuff. Take that and focus on more constructive or more of a positive energy.
Right. You're creating. You're a God. You're creating your world.
Creating that world, and that can be negative. Really.
Yeah.
You can be getting some bad energy if you worry too much.
Yeah.
Very good. So, go ahead and take the next one then, Daphne, if you would, please.
It says, I knew my whole life every event, both good and bad, yet standing in the presence of divinity, I saw the pure love in all of it. There was no judgment, only the knowing that it was all perfect, that my entire life was created in love for me. Even my choices, good or bad, had served my highest good in every way. For I was only here to learn, and God, along with me, had provided the perfect path for my soul's progression. Oh my gosh,
Isn't
you
that
hear this so
beautiful?
much. Yes, it is. It really, really is.
I like the part here that it just ties in with so much that we hear, that it's just all pure love, and it's for our overall growth, and that there's no judgment. It's just that knowing that, hey, everything is what it is in the big picture, and life goes on, and it just keeps on going. So I really love the part about, really personally, that that no judgment kind of thing, and no condemnation, like a lot of them say.
Only the knowing. I mean,
that knowing, and that
yeah.
just that love, being in the presence of that love, however that love presents itself to you.
Right.
I
like this, pardon the interruption, but even the choices, good or bad, had served for the highest good in every way.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for us to understand.
Yeah. We're here to grow as a soul, to remember our divinity, to remember that we are creating our world, because we are creators. We're little creators. I mean, look around you. I mean, just a computer sitting in front of your face. That's creation. That's somebody's creation.
Yeah.
I mean, from your house to, everything. Really just grasp this. We are creators, and we create our own world.
That's right. And once you realize that, and you can actually take control of that, you can purposely, by choice, choose to create the world that you want to live in. That's how it works.
Yes, that's exactly how
it works. You're not
a
hopeless, helpless, good-for-nothing, worthless sinner that needs other people to think for you, that needs other people to tell you what to think, that has other people, that you need other people to tell you what to believe. You need other people to live their life for you, and to even to pay the price for your mistakes. Hey, come on, guys. Just open up your minds and really think about how this stuff is affecting us.
We are our own creators, yeah.
The masters, that's not what they taught. They taught that you are one with the divine. Mm-hmm. And once you realize that you are divine, that you create your own world, like Daphne said, everything starts in mind.
Right,
everything.
right.
Let's look around you where you're at. If you're in your room, you're out driving your car, wherever you're at, it doesn't matter. Outside,
look
inside,
around you.
Look around you. Everything that's in this physical world, okay, started in the mind.
Yeah.
Okay? And we are all part of mind.
Just like the laws of hermetics. The first law is
All
of
is
mind. Yes.
Everything starts in the mind, okay? So there's two forms of creation. One, spiritual, okay? Mm-hmm. And once it's been created in the spiritual realm, which is really
mind,
just think about it, and visualization and imagination, and just designing it, sketching it, whatever you got to do, imagination, you can, and that's how you bring it to reality. And then that's the second form of creation in the physical realm, which is these, the manifestation, look around, are the manifestations of the worlds that people have created, which started in their thoughts. So you are gods in your own regard, because you are part of God. You can create.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And taking it from the mind, that spiritual form, taking it with your hands, your physical body, and you sketch it out, you draw it out, however you do it, you build a model of something, you then bring that spiritual thought into a physical form.
That's right. It's
Wow.
creation.
I mean, we are little creators here.
Yeah. And that's what we mean when we say this. When you are God.
You are God. You are creating your world.
You are a spark of the divine.
The divine.
Yeah, you're part of it.
And there's such beauty in that.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, and it frees us from the fears that have been placed upon us by others.
Right. Go ahead and take the next one, Daphne, if you would.
Sure. It says, I re-experienced every moment of my life in refined detail, including all feelings, thoughts, sounds, smells, people, loves, hates, anger, sorrow, fear, happiness, fun times, food, everything up till I was in the goldenness. It was as if I had again lived my life, but from the standpoint of a witness.
Ooh. Wow. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Well, it
Every
just
detail's
really just
recorded.
tells you it's a very full-blown, it's probably even more real on the other side than the way we experience it here on this side. And don't think that you're getting away with anything if you think you are, if you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, that nobody's watching you, because guess what? You are.
You are. Yeah. You know, I love...
You can't get away from you. So if you are all and you are God, then you're not going to get away from this in your life review. You just can't, because you're recording it.
Right. You know, the good times, the bad times, the fun times, food, everything. Oh my gosh.
I like that. And how it said they were even able to smell things. And
We were created so
To
divinely.
experience.
Yeah, to experience and record everything.
yeah, even the hairs on your arms is receiving and
Conductors.
transmitting.
Yeah.
Everything. So
That's why sometimes when people, like, something happens in a room, they say, oh, the hairs on my back or my arm or neck or my
just
head,
because there's
something.
to that. It's tuned into your spirit.
It's resonance.
It is.
It's resonance, vibration, yeah.
That's something there's a reason why animals do that too. If you watch, say, maybe a cat
Oh,
or
yeah.
a dog, or watch when they're in a certain state, when they're getting ready to go into whatever, then watch that hair start standing up on their backs, usually or something. There's something to that. But our hair even transmits things. Yeah, it's amazing.
We're
Amazing.
little conductors, little creators here.
Yeah, very good, very good. Next one says that I did a life review and saw everywhere where I had screwed up and relived the events, not just from my perspective, but also from the perspective of those I affected, both good and bad. This is so much in harmony with every single one. Even that last one we read, I like how they said that they experienced it from the standpoint of witness, So like this person brings out, you got to understand that in the life review, it's not just you reviewing it. You are that other person. You review it from them
Because
as well.
everything is one.
Yeah, think about that. So you're going to feel exactly what they felt. The physical pain they felt, the emotional pain, the mental stress, the heartache, the rippling effect that it caused that person's life.
If it was, it was
good or bad.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Both,
bad.
yeah.
Yes.
The good that you did, it will ripple on.
Yes.
The bad as well. So, moving on along.
Okay, yes. Seeing how I conducted myself at times was painful. I felt more pain when I saw myself inflict pain on another. I think that is the hell people speak of. We've talked about that.
Okay, now here's what we got to think about, guys. You are going to be back to source. So you're going to be seeing these things from a pure source perspective. Okay? You're not going to be seeing it through ego. You're not going to be seeing it through, what you would think here, even in this world. You'll be seeing it from your perspective. You'll be seeing it from what we call God or a source perspective. You will be seeing it from that person's perspective.
The three.
Which is all really the one, really, in that regard.
Exactly, yes.
So, but like it says here, I felt more pain when I saw myself inflict pain on another. So imagine once you're in this beautiful, perfect state of oneness with God, which is love, okay? Now, imagine reviewing this life review through the eyes of love. Okay, it's not going to be through the eyes of ego and judgment and condemnation. No, it's through the eyes of love. Now, how's that going to make you feel when you see the pain or the love or the goodness or the kindness, but in this context, the pain that you inflicted on another? You know? And like this person says, and we talk about it a lot, and that's what the life review is. It says, I think that is the hell that people speak of.
Yes.
I think it exactly is the hell, to be honest with you. It's what we believe.
Right.
I believe.
Hell is not a physical place of torment.
It can be created in your mind, absolutely.
Right, but it's not
It can be very real in a person's mind, you know. And people do have, you know, what we call the NDEs and things like that, where they experience it, but most of them do come out of that. And once they acknowledge, you know, so that shows it's not really an actual place, but an actual state. But yeah, so that's really the thing. Like it says, you know, if you've done good in life, then your life view is going to be heaven. It's going to be bliss. It's going to be wonderful, because that love, that bolt of love that you're going to get in that oh wow, could you imagine how that's going to feel? All the good that you put out. Whereas, what if you did harm most of your life? What if you did bad? What if it was all about you the whole time since day one? It's all about self. It's all about what you wanted. It's all about, you didn't care about other people. You know, you really didn't have any kind of desire to help other people. It was whatever you can get. Well, guess what? That's that self. That's that ego. That's what, you know, that's what has been created that is separate from that one. Well, if you've lived your life like that and seen everybody separate from you, and you didn't have a problem condemning others, putting other people down, judging others, being hurtful to others, hurting harmfully with your words or even actions or deeds, or God forbid, killing people, you know, with your deeds or with weapons of destruction. Who cares? But whatever you did, okay, you know what you did. You've had that experience. You will have to re-experience that. That could be hell.
Yeah, and thinking about the intent of things, you know, if you intended these things, it's going to be affect you one way than as if you unintentionally hurt someone. So you're going to get that perspective of both.
Exactly, because the intention is the fuel that drives the experience.
Yes.
Okay, so when you were having your life review, you know, there's a difference between you accidentally, you know, killing something or taking the life of something or whatever, or even to someone, God forbid, in an accident or something. You know, you didn't intend to go out and do that, but, you know, things happen every day. But, you know, it wasn't an intention. So that's going to have a different effect in your life review if you didn't have the intention to go out and harm someone. You did harm someone, you know, if you did, in that regard, say like with an accident, you're still going to feel their pain, their harm, their family's loss, their hurt, their pain. You know, that it does, you know, affect you in that regard. But it doesn't, you know, from a different perspective. I don't know if that makes any sense or not.
It does, most definitely. For me, it does anyway.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so go ahead. You want to go and take the next one?
Okay. I could see how my actions impacted others. Flashbacks of things I had done that were good and bad. All things I had done. I was also put into the shoes of those I did them to, and felt the way they felt as it was happening. You hear that a lot.
Ah, my exact words. My exact words.
You hear that a lot, yes.
That is the life review. You know, you re-experience your life and your whatever you put out, the good and bad. Good, bad, and the ugly.
Right. Sometimes not the best, so.
Yeah. So that resonates with everything we've been reading. This next one says, it was so natural. We discussed my life while I relived, seems like portions of it, proceeding from oldest to younger and only stopping when I seemed to be uncertain of my own actions at the time. There were no condemnation, no right or wrong, complete acceptance and understanding, with only one loving, don't you think you could have done this way type of comment. You judge yourself. Daphne?
Wow. Yes. You know, the different forms that life review takes, you know, some are from birth to death, some are like this one, oldest to younger. And this one only stopped when the person was uncertain of their own actions. So, but I like the fact that they said there was no condemnation, no right or wrong, and complete acceptance and understanding And that's what we hear a lot of, that there is no right, there is no wrong. It just is. We are just being here. So that complete acceptance of our life the way we chose to live it, there's no condemnation of it.
Yeah.
And it had the one loving thought, don't you think you could have done this way?
We hear that a lot too.
Yeah, and it's like we judge ourselves. There's no external source judging us. There's no judge and jury there to condemn.
Yeah. To go with that thought, if you really think about this here, all right, we do hear this a lot, and it's in this form or fashion where that spirit asks you, well, something on the lines of, what could you have done better? Or
differently.
Could you have done this differently? Or correct, yeah. Or, is there something you learned from this that you would do different? Or, it's something, we do hear that a lot too. Oh, did you learn something from this? So what are your comments on that?
Yeah, and with that being said, and that is the lesson, the life-changing parts. When people come back from these experiences, their lives are transformed because of that. They see things through love and operate out of love. When you come across people who have had these NDEs, their energy, their spirit is so loving. I haven't come across any experiencers that are negative or just not doing anything spiritual. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so I hate to say this, Daphne, but it looks like, well, it's okay because this is the last one. But I was going to say we're right on time with wrapping things up. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and do the last one here. I'll go ahead and read it, and then we'll go ahead and see what we can get out of it. How's that?
Sounds great.
Last one of the episode says that I underwent what has been called the life review process. For I saw my life from beginning to end all at once. That's something to think about, too. We'll talk about that in a minute, if you wouldn't mind me, that all at once thing. I participated in the real life dramas of my life, almost like a holographic image of my life going on before me. No sense of past, present, or future, just now and the reality of my life. It wasn't as though it started with birth and ran along to my life at the university where I worked. It all appeared at once. There I was. This was my life. I didn't experience any sense of guilt or remorse for things I've done. I didn't feel one way or the other about my failures, faults, or achievements. All I felt was my life for what it is, and I was content with that. I accepted my life for what it is.
Wow, now that's a different perspective.
Think about that.
I like that.
Comments.
And it really ties in with Source, how it accepts everything as is, and this person accepted all of their life as it was.
Yeah.
And I really feel that that's that tying back into one to Source.
Yeah, you have to.
This person may have been a more advanced, mature soul to have realized that. I like this the point that they said, I didn't experience any sense of guilt or remorse for the things that I had done. I didn't feel one way or another about my failures, my faults, or my achievement.
Wow. So, get you thinking.
Yeah, put your thinking caps on, open your heart up, and then put your boots on.
Yeah, so.
I like the all at once, and I've heard this from different ones. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we had mentioned that earlier. Yeah, that it goes, to me, I think of the eternal now, the concept of everything right here. Because when we, as humans, we think of things linear.
Right.
Past, going back in time, future, going into the future, when the truth is, no, everything's happening now. From what I'm understanding, even your lives that we think are past lives are actually just other lives that you're experiencing right now. That's a
hard one to wrap your brain around.
It is.
Especially if you're new into learning this stuff, you're going to be like, these people's lost their mind.
Yeah, so I'm just throwing it out there. I don't really understand that concept, but I'm just saying it's something to think about.
It really is, and it's taken a lot for me to grasp that concept as well. But I am starting to, grab onto it just a little bit, just holding on to it just a little bit, trying to keep from falling off at the
Baby
moment.
steps,
Baby steps.
like Bob said.
That's what I was going to say. What about Bob? Baby steps. And that's what we have to do. Everything's a process. So take those little steps. Take that initiative to do something about it.
Yeah. Everything starts with one step, guys, and it starts with you.
It
Only
does.
you can fix you.
That's right.
The truth.
Only you.
Only you. Well, Daphne, you have any final comments or anything you'd like to share with the listeners before we go ahead and wrap up this episode?
Yes, I do, actually. I wanted to share an excerpt from the Conversations book.
Sure.
So this tying in with the life review, as we have, this episode has been about, is the life review. And reading this excerpt from the Conversations book 1, it reminded me of the life review. Tell me what you think about it. And the listener, reflect on this for a moment. Okay, so it is Source talking. It says, I tell you this, you are your own rule maker. You set the guidelines and you decide how well you have done, how well you are doing, for you are the one who has decided who and what you really are and who you want to be, and you are the only one who can assess how well you're doing. No one else will judge you ever. For why and how could God judge God's own creation and call it bad? If I had wanted you to be and do everything perfectly, I would have left you in the state of total perfection from whence you came.
Okay.
Does that not tie perfectly in with the life review process
It does.
that these NDEers speak about?
And it also ties in with free will. That if you were given free will, you get to choose on, that so resonates. Yeah.
It really does. It really does. Yes. I do have one more that I would like to leave the listener with for today.
Sure.
And I may start incorporating in some of these little hearts that I have hearted, but throughout my book, because I really love this one, and I would love to share it with you and with all of our listeners. And Source God says, and I tell you this, compassion never ends, love never stops, patience never runs out in God's world. Only in the world of man is goodness limited. In my world, goodness is endless.
Okay, very good. Very good. That's beautiful. I love that. It really gets you thinking.
It does. It does. Really, the compassion never ends and love never stops. Patience never runs out in God's world.
Yeah, and there's only goodness there. Think about that.
It's endless, yes.
Yeah, over here is where all the, the destruction
We're
and
limited.
the garbage and the meanness is.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Well, Miss Daphne, thank you so much for coming out and doing the podcast with us today.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I love doing it.
We appreciate you, and as always, your comments and your input, so thank you so much.
Yes, and we love all you guys out there listening. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. And don't forget to go to the website. That's NDE.world for more information, and we'll see you guys over there. Feel free to contact us, and we'll definitely be glad to get back with you, and we'll take it from there. But go to NDE.world for more information, and until then, we love you all so much. May peace be with you, and until next time.
Y'all let your light shine.
For more information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.